Your music's sort of described as a mix of hip hop and rap, but with pop and R&B. Is there a way that you tend to describe the music you make?
I generally describe the music as in the present. Most of the music that I make is just a reflection of exactly how I feel in that moment or at that time. Um, I'm a fan of all different types of music. So from rock and roll, hip hop, R&B, country. Doesn't I don't really have a particular genre that I'm drawn to.
Hmm.
Obviously, I started with hip hop and R&B, but when I make music, it's just 100% based on how I feel. So
Who are some of the artists that influenced you when you were growing up?
definitely Kanye, 1000%. R. Kelly definitely influenced me. I know we might get banned for that on the interview, but hey, it's not the man, it's the music. All
Yeah,
right,
there you
not the
go.
man, it's the music. 3 6 Mafia, Limit Soldiers, Cash Money. Those were definitely some of my biggest influences. Definitely Wayne. I think Wayne is one of the main reasons. If I was to attribute anybody for why I started rapping, I would definitely attribute that to Wayne. I think that Kanye took me more to a songwriting direction and more listening to Kanye uh, encouraged me to express more of my creative side. But definitely Wayne, definitely Kanye, and growing up, we were big on people in the South. So 3 6 Mafia, Cash Money, and then also Master P and them No Limit Soldiers. Speaking of which, I don't know if you know they're bringing verses back. So on Sunday they're doing
Oh, again.
Cash Money versus No Limit Soldiers. So that's gonna be
Okay.
big. So we definitely all gotta tap in for that one.
We have your new song Truly out now. Where did this come from? What inspired it? I know it's such a great feel good, very uplifting track.
I really appreciate that. I don't know if you had an opportunity to check out any of my other music, but and I know I'm going on a little
What
tangent right now, but it's so frustrating for
levels?
artists. It's so frustrating for artists because all of my songs have like one stream, and I'm like, these are the most incredible songs. Now, obviously, for artists, every artist is going to feel passionate, but like, and I'll talk about this at some point in the interview. I host a music review show. So like I listen to all the up and coming artists, and there are a lot of talented people, but my songs are above all of the rest. And that's not just coming from an ego standpoint. I just been writing music for 25 years. So when people talk about putting in their 10,000 hours, like I've put in 100,000 hours on my
Wow.
craft. And I'm really good at what I do. It's probably the best thing that I do. But as far as truly, I have to say I appreciate you saying that because that song was one of those songs. There's been a few songs in my career that I've said, "This is it. This is the hit. This is the one." And since Truly, I've made probably 100 more Trulies that people haven't even heard because they're just I'm just waiting to release them strategically, right? And obviously have the money to run ads and different things, and connecting with great people like you, Jamie. But Truly was actually inspired during COVID, right? So during COVID, we started drinking the seltzer Truly. And at that time, there was not a lot to do, obviously, because everything was closed down, especially here in DC in the Northeast. It wasn't like the South. And I heard some other places and some other countries were still booming. But here in DC, specifically, it was just shut down. But we during that time we were drinking a lot of Truly, the tropical Trulies, right? So I had a studio set up in my office because I ran a door-to-door sales company. So one of the rooms just so happened to be my studio. So it was interesting because my employees would come in, they'd be like, "Hey, what's in that room?" They'd be like, "Hey, don't just keep moving, don't turn your eyes to that direction." But and we would stay late night and different things like that. But yeah, so me and my business partner and one of my really good friends, we were drinking a lot of Truly, and we were like, man, this is an amazing, it's low carbs, low calories, it's almost like a healthy, alcoholic beverage that you can drink. And And we just got in the studio, and that's how we felt. We probably had a Truly in our hand. This is not Truly. This is the Celsius again. Uh, but we probably had a Truly, and it was like, hey, we just started feeling it, and that came out. But we started thinking like, man, this is one of those things that we should get an endorsement deal. Like we should reach out to Truly, and we have not done these things yet. I
Okay.
say yet, but it just was one of those amazing feel good records. I mean, just having a good time, friends, good vibes, good feels, and and the record came together really well. And I have this thing about whenever I'm on the first verse and whenever I lead off a song, I feel like it takes a real special direction. But my business partner, who I call my brother, because we actually look a lot alike, but he's just a friend that I met later on in life. This kid is incredible. He had only at that time written like maybe one or two songs, and this was like the second song. And I'm like, bro, if you don't stop everything, and I'm super passionate about music, but he's just playing around with it, and he's like, his verse. How did this verse go? The verse was made. He was on the second verse, right? And he's just killing it. He's like 8 or 9 years younger than me, and he's just, and he's using my lingo and some of the things that I do, and I'm like, man, this is hot. And then my other buddy came on there like Ty Dolla Sign, and I
Ooh,
was like, and he was like, truly, refreshing king smoothie, truly, you're never gonna lose me. And it was just like the whole thing just came together. The bridge, chorus, verses, and it was up. So super exciting.
it's such a summer bop. What kind of reaction have you been getting from fans to it?
Well, everyone that hears it, so I started using Groover for the first time because I use some of the promotion platforms like Playlist Booker, and I'm gonna be open and honest on this interview because I really don't give a shit, right? Respectfully, right? But I think that there's like a scam going on with these major distribution platforms because, like, if you get any type of legitimate traffic or any type of legitimate promotion, if you're not using their tools, then they just flag you and say it's bots and just remove your music.
No.
And it's like it's really just mind blowing. So when you ask, what type of traction that I've been getting, I've been attempting to use different promotional and marketing tools, but I've been very, very careful because I've used it with some songs in the past, and then they've got flagged and removed when I use no
Mm,
bots. No, so for Truly, the first tool that I used was Groover because it was through United Masters, and I'm like, okay, now I get what's going on. So if y'all getting some type of kickback, then you won't flag it. So I don't know if that's how things are working, but I use Groover. I sent it out to maybe 30 different people. And out of the 30, I think 28 people liked it. So 28 people, I mean, 28 people either gave me an
can't be wrong.
interview or they either put it on their playlist. And I'm like, it's I tell my wife, I'm like, it's reaffirming that I know, and this song is from 2020. I'm like, this is nothing. Like, we have so many. I have 100 more songs. Like this year was real big for my songwriting because I was just really in my bag. So I have some songs that are just like wow, like some of the most incredible songs. I have albums already lined up, but again, I I have to be very careful because I don't want them to just get flagged somehow. But,
Mm.
I would be interested, with you, to learn from somebody like you that does interviews and that are connected, in the same industry and maybe may have some more knowledge to just know what platforms are safe and what angles are, strategic angles to put things out and to actually get results. Because again, Truly has, I think, like 50 streams. 50 streams.
And
And it's like it's like I have one of the best restaurants in the world and nobody knows that my restaurant exists. And it's so frustrating because it's like the food is good, it's delicious, it's healthy, and nobody knows it exists. So
you talked
I don't
a
know.
little, you talked a little bit about how Truly was crafted. Is that a unique way for you to go about crafting a song? Is it always the same way, or or you tend to write a song differently each time?
That is, it's a really good question. I think it's the same way every single time. I have a
Hmm.
system now, the way that I do things, and I've always been systematic at, you know, as far as my songwriting process. The first thing, you hear a beat, and then the most important thing is the melody, because I think that that's what people relate to, right?
Hmm.
Even before they learn the lyrics, even before
Sure.
they know what the words are, they're that melody is just in your mind. So I'll create a whole song just on melody. And it's so easy to do that because, sounds, melody sounds, you can hum a different tune, or, you can sing a different melody without having any words. And then you just put the words to the melody. You know, the system of getting around good people, having a great feel, and just going based on my emotions. I'm not afraid to say, very emotional person. I'm a water sign. I've learned to control and choose which emotions that so that they don't get me into trouble. So I've gotten really, really good at that in my latter years as I grew more wise. But you know, I think that going off of those emotions, those raw emotions, and exactly how you feel is always going to produce the most authentic songs. And I think that if I have any system, that's the system. So I try to surround myself with real people and authentic things, so that it delivers authentic results. And from there, then I'll do my melody system, where I'm just like, and then you could just put some words to that, and then boom, you got a hit record. So
It sounds like you're very hands-on though too on the production side of the music you make.
so when you say production, do you mean beat making, or do you mean producing the final result of the actual song?
Producing the final result where you add the 808s, you sort of craft the hi-hats here or there, you add the maybe a little guitar, you figure it out, and then you craft up this final product that has engineering and things like that added to it.
Gotcha. So when people say producer or producing, I am very hands-on, but not as far as the instruments. Right
Mhm.
now, well, let me take that back. So I when it comes to making beats, right? I make beats, right? I'm more of an arranger. So I'm an arranger, I'm more of a producer, to whereas if someone has a beat, then I will say, you know what that's missing? It's missing the guitar, or it's missing, but
Mm.
I don't know, I don't
You're not
produce
like
the beat.
Appleton or something that
Exactly. I'm not on Fruity Loops and actually making the beat, or, at do I think that I could? Absolutely, right? But that's not my forte. Is really songwriting. That's what I
Mhm.
love, is the songwriting. But then producing from an arrangement standpoint. Like I might say, you know what? No, we need to move this bridge over here. We move my vocals on this and put a singer here. Let's have this person singing. Let's have this person rapping here. And then let's add this to the beat right here. And then as far as the mixing, I'm going to say, hey, let's take this level up, take this level down. And then I'm arranging the song so that we can produce the final result. And it's interesting that I wanted to clarify that, because when people say producer, a lot of times they some people consider it as a beat maker, which they're not wrong. A producer is a beat maker, but then there's the other side, like a Benny Blanco, who is an arranger, or they're a producer in the sense that, Benny Blanco, he may make beats as well. I'm not entirely sure, but you know, they're a producer from the standpoint, like an executive producer. Like when you see an executive producer on a TV show, they don't really produce it, they just finance it, you know what I mean? And they're responsible for compiling and putting all the pieces together so that
Mhm.
they deliver an end result. So when I think of producer, that's how I think of myself as a producer, as far as arranging all of the elements, bringing all of the people, elements, everything together to deliver the final result.
You talked about maybe having an album or an EP coming out here. Are you working on it?
So yes, so I'm. It's you. Great questions. I love the questions.
Thank you.
I haven't had an opportunity opportunity to let these things on my chest, which is why I'm so excited to explain these things. So I made a lot of mistakes throughout my career. So one of the things that I'm really excited about is promoting myself as Unc, right? So when I do my music reviews, I'm like, I'm Unc, like, and I'm proud to be Unc. I'm proud to be 37 because there are a lot of people that don't make it my age. My best friend actually died on August 1st, spent 5 days with me. Very sad, yes. But I say all this to say that people die every day, right? So if I'm making it to 37, if I'm fortunate, God, Lord willing, to make it 45, 50, 80 years old, the older that you are, the more fortunate that I am that I've been able to live a full life, right? So, some people, especially artists, they're like, oh, you're too old. And it's like, age is nothing but a number. If your energy, like I mean, as 37, I don't think that I have 37-year-old energy. I have, I have very youthful energy, right? So I say all that to say, and my mind went on a tangent. Bring it back for me. The
You're
original
talking about
question.
your EP or album that you possibly have
Oh,
in the works.
okay, yeah. So I made a lot of mistakes. So for a long time, I wasn't putting out my music because I was like, I don't have any fans. So why would I put out my music? And it's like, you dummy, how do you think you get fans? You have to put out your music. That's how you get fans. But it was a catch 22. Like, there was a silver lining. It was a silver lining for me because now I have hundreds and hundreds of songs. And fortunately for me as a songwriter, none of my songs have a timestamp. So I don't say, hey, Kobe was in the finals this year, and Trump is in the office, and so I don't put a timestamp, so you don't know that Truly came out 5 years ago. You see what I'm saying? You think, wow, it's
Mm-hmm.
brand new. So when you talk about the album, what I've done is I've been compiling like these EPs or these albums from music that was produced as far as 20 years ago. And I promise you, you will not know that now some of the beats are dated, right? But I have this series that you may have listened to. It's called Forever I Love Atlanta because I spent a considerable amount of time. I went to college in Atlanta, and it's called Fila. So Forever I Love Atlanta. So just recently, I released Forever I Love Atlanta, or Fila, but the timestamp that I put on it was 2012. And
Mm.
then I did Forever I Love Atlanta too. And some people are like, why would you do that? Why wouldn't you really? And I'm like, I have a strategy with all this. I want to, it's almost it's a financial term. It's called FIFO. So first in, first out, FIFO, right? So the first songs I have in, I want to put those out because the songs that I did this year, they may come out, later next year or the year after, and they're so relevant and still so hot that it doesn't matter, right? So to talk about the album, I'm going to be releasing Fila 3. It's the third and final
Okay.
installment of the really older songs that I had that I'm like, the fans still need to hear. They're still very lyrical. They're still very relevant. They're still very the energy is awesome. So Fila 3 is going to actually, and you're the first person to notice, maybe besides, I don't even think I told my wife this, but I'm going to be dropping Fila 3 on Thanksgiving. So
Ah,
Fila 3 is going to be dropping on Thanksgiving. I got another single that's going to be dropping, a single that's featuring my wife. So here's another thing about me. Everybody around me, it's like, if you come around me, Jamie, you will make music. Like, it's like, no, I don't make music. No, you make music now. We're about to, everybody makes music. So I got an entire album that I did this year with my wife, and she had never recorded or written a song
wow.
ever in her entire life. Now we got a whole album together, right? But so as far as projects that are coming out, Fila 3, which will be released on Thanksgiving, but it'll be time stamped in, I think, 2018. So I'll timestamp it in either 2017 or 2018, but it'll be coming out on in November. And then I have another single that's coming out that's featuring my wife. That's an EDM pop song, and that'll be coming out on her birthday, which is on November 14th. And then from here, I think I'm going to be releasing a lot of singles, maybe every 2 weeks, once a month. You'll just be getting single after single after single. Like, I could just release singles for 365 days straight and not miss a beat, right? But you're going to be getting a lot of singles. And then maybe when I release, when I have a significant enough fan base, or I've collected enough data from running Facebook ads, and I can send it out to 10,000 people. At that point, I'll release an actual another official, my first official album that's relevant, like that's that I put out from this year, as opposed to like the Fila installment, which was three albums that are from the past, but I'm just now having the opportunity to put them out.
Who are some artists you would love to collaborate with on music in the future?
Definitely, yay, and definitely kill. I mean, those I can say. Let me think. Okay, so let me think about this for a second. So again, Kales, definitely, I would love to do an album with Kales. But Kanye, I know they're both, they both from the Midwest. I'm from the Midwest, so I know they have their what's it called, politically incorrect issues that obviously they're dealing with, right? But as far as creativity, that I mean, they're incredible. But as far as I would love to, Baby King, that's
Okay.
somebody I would definitely love to collaborate with. Baby King. Outside of outside of that, maybe Leon Bridges. Leon
Oh,
Bridges
that would be
is
good.
yeah, Leon Bridges is incredible. Just trying to think of some of my favorite. I mean, the underground. If you, I don't know if you have time after this, but if you check out, if you hop on at 3 o'clock, drop me a follow on Twitch, or if you're on YouTube. When you see the music reviews, it's probably going to be 50, 100 people that hop onto my music reviews, and
Mhm.
these, man, forget a Baby Keem, forget a John Jay. These kids are so incredible. They'll hop on and be like, "Yeah, man, I was sick. I had pneumonia, and I just started rapping 2 days ago, and my phone was broke, and I did it and it'll be truly times 50. It'll be the most incredible song you've ever heard." And I'm just like, and I just love being able to showcase and give those artists the opportunity that I never had to really showcase my music. You know what I mean? But as far as artists, who do I want to collaborate? Those are the artists that I want to collaborate, man. Forget all these other people. I mean, majority of these people are not really hot to me. I know that sounds very like, oh, are they not hot? But they're just not. Like, you know what I mean? Outside the people that I named, they're just not talented to me. Especially because you have, like, I wish I could show you like my setup. Like, I'm dropping hits and I have nothing. If I can't imagine if I had $1 million studios and all the money and resources, and I'm like, this is what you dropped. I'm like, please. So maybe Nikki. Nikki's always dope. I mean, Cardi. Big shout out to Nikki and Cardi. Soldier. I would do something with Soldier. Soldier is one of my favorite artists. Soldier Boy, one of my favorite artists, hands down. I don't know why he doesn't put out music. I'm like, or why he doesn't like take music seriously. I know he's probably like, I'm rich, but I mean, him, Baby King, Nicki, Cardi. I can't really think. Like I said, Kanye, obviously, if he ever gets his, comes back around to doing music. But other than that, I just wanna work with underground artists and indie artists that, because they're incredible. They hot right now.